Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Click to Close podcast. My name is Travis Halverson.
Changing that up every time.
Did I say?
That's you're good.
Oh,
that's
good. Yeah, we're doing good. We don't have to
changing your voice.
Oh, I know. Click to Close podcast. My name is Travis Halverson with the one and only.
What's up?
What's up? Preston Guyton. How's it going?
Good, man. How are you?
This episode is brought to you by
Yeah.
Deer Park Water.
Deer Park Water.
Established in 1873, 100% natural spring water.
So it was raining back then.
Yeah, well, I don't understand that. 1873 was a good year.
Well, that's a few years ago.
We appreciate everybody that's stuck with us so far. We're now on episode 4.
4. What are we talking about today?
Well, we're recapping.
We're recapping.
What did we talk about last episode?
We talked about
3 holes to plug in your world.
Database. Yes. 1.
Speed to lead.
2.
Speed to response.
3.
Accountability.
3.
Accountability for the leads that you're sending. 2. Speed to response.
1.
Speed to lead. Cool. Oh my God.
Got it right. Look at you.
Yeah, that's how it is in that order. Exactly what happens. Today, what are we going to talk about?
You got to tell me. I don't know.
Oh, man. I don't know. What are we going to talk about?
Ads.
Clicking. The clicking part.
The click.
No longer the closing part. We're talking about the clicking part.
Click.
Clicking part. What are the things we can talk about?
So the one thing?
Number one thing when it comes to ads.
Number one thing, it's actually doesn't have to do with ads. Well, it does, but it's actually the website.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What about the website?
So a lot of people, when they sign up for AdWords, they have a terrible website.
Can you tell me the difference between a terrible website and a good website?
So speed of site.
Speed of site.
Yeah.
Okay.
Call to action placement.
Being
able to actually force registrations. So actually be able to force somebody to register when you're sending you're sending somebody from an ad. If you don't force them to register, how are you going to get their information?
Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, it's really websites. Like when you think about running ads, look at where you're sending them to.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you don't have a good website, if your website loads, we talked about that in the first episode. If your website takes 8 seconds to load, where are you going?
Another website.
Exactly.
I would think it was like my internet, and I'm like,
so. Okay, and if you click on too, and so many people question it, like just like you, they question you on the closing. Well, I don't know. I don't want to do that because I don't think it'll work. How often do you hear that?
All the time.
So they
not as much anymore. I think.
Yeah. So they don't think it'll work because of the way they feel.
Yeah, of course.
Right. So that's one thing. Speed of site. You have to be able to, push them to force registration. Do it on the first open. If you're looking at real estate listings, you want to force them to registration on the very first view. I've tested every way, and some people are like, well, I want to let them see 2 or 3 properties first. I'm like, okay, you're going to lose about at least 50% of the people that register.
50%? Mm-hmm. That's awful.
Yeah, because you got to think the average person is on a real estate website from an ad for about 3 minutes. A lot of times they only look at 2 or 3 properties.
Oh, yeah.
So you see what you want the first time. Mm-hmm. You click on the second one, and you're like, oh, let me look at this other one. And they're like, you're forced to register. You're like, oh, hell, I'm not doing this. I'm leaving.
Yep.
So that's, really when you're looking at running ads, the very first thing you want to do is look at your website. Look at how you register. Look at the speed of the site. Look at all those things. Look at how it functions on mobile. Mm-hmm. 75% of visitors to your website are going to be on mobile.
Yeah.
So if you have a great desktop site and the mobile site's awful, the experience is awful. If you got to scroll way down to see listings, then people are going to leave. So that is the very first thing you look at is website. And there's a lot of options out there available that are template sites that work very well.
Just like an easy.
Yeah, especially when you're looking at real estate, but even real estate, whatever it is, like there's so many different options out there that just make sure that you have good call to actions and that the site can actually load within 10 seconds. Really within like
5 seconds. A second. So obviously, it decreases as time goes on. That's crazy. That's number one, website. Number 2, when it comes to ads.
2 is really who's setting up the ads. I mean, when you look at ads, a lot of times people only focus on text ads.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many. So text ads are the ones you see, like if you type in, you're searching for homes in Myrtle Beach, it's going to be what shows up at the top. Mm-hmm. So the top or the bottom, and depending on, it's auction based. So the more people trying to show up for Myrtle Beach homes for sale, the more expensive the click's going to be.
Gosh.
So like you could be very well spending in some markets a couple dollars a click. In some industries, $20 a click. It really depends on what you're selling and, how many auction-based, how many people are actually searching that keyword. Real estate is a highly searched keyword, so those typically are not going to be $5 or $10 a click, or somebody doesn't know what they're doing. But it's really going and looking at the way you're running ads and understanding that there's a lot more than just, because they've made ads a lot easier to do with AI. Like you could walk through and it'll prompt you to put this content in and prompt you to do this. Doesn't mean you should do it.
Yeah, for sure.
But it has prompts where you could go through and do that. If you're doing some kind of basic ads, that's fine. But understand what you're doing, because I was at a conference about 6 months ago. Somebody got on stage and clearly did not know what they were doing and talking about ads and setting them up. And they were walking through the process. And they were like, I'm getting 67-cent clicks. I'm like, what does that mean? It just means somebody's clicking on your ad. That doesn't mean you're getting dollars in your pocket.
Yeah, what is that? How do you...
So when you're setting up ads, you really got to, understand what your conversion is. Like, what does that conversion mean? And so for real estate, for us, the conversion means, because we can't see within ads.
Yeah, for sure.
If somebody's closing or if we're setting an appointment. But we can count a conversion based on name, phone number, and email address. So even if somebody signs up and we don't count calls as conversions, because we don't really set a whole lot of calls within our ads. But it's name, phone number, and email address. And we get that full information, or it's not a conversion. And that's how we measure it. So when really number 2 is going to be people setting up ads that don't know what they're doing, or they don't utilize what all ads can do, because there's other things, Performance Max, you've heard me talk about, display ads, there's demand gen ads, there's so many different things you could do with ads. A lot of people just don't know what they're doing. Yeah. And they don't set up conversions correct, so they're focused on clicks when they should be focused on conversions, and there's just a lot to it than just going through a 20-minute setup because you think you can.
Yeah. I watched a YouTube video that showed me how to do this.
Well, I just follow the prompts on Google. It's like Google, they'll send you...
They're not sending you a prompt to be masters at it.
No, and you get these notifications, say, hey, for your campaigns to do better, we recommend you spending more money.
Yeah, of course.
And everybody's like, I'm going to do that because Google says, well, they're trying to get you to spend more money. So even when you're running them, if you're running them and you'll see those optimization scores is what they call them based on every campaign, it doesn't mean you do them. If you just X out and say, I don't want to do any of these, and say your optimization score is at 75, it goes up to 100, even if you do them or don't do them.
Oh, God.
So they're gamifying it, right? In a way, showing you this optimization score, and they're saying, hey, if you spend more money, you allow more money in your budget, your optimization score goes up. Yep. But if you just X out of them, it goes up anyway.
Jeez. So that's 2. So what was 1?
1 was website.
2?
2 was AdWord campaigns, setting them up.
What is 3?
3. Where can I take 3? I didn't have 3, really.
You got it. There's got to be 3.
No, there is a third. Let me think about it for a minute.
What would be the most important thing when it comes to ads?
Really, it's set when you're looking at the conversion side, just understand where you're setting them to.
Okay.
Based on the ads, right? So it's kind of 2, but it's really its own thing. Like when you're looking at setting up ads, what are the pages you're setting them to? Like what landing pages are they going to? And just make sure they match up to the ad, right? Like if you're searching for mobile homes in Conway, what do you want to see?
Mobile homes in Conway.
If I sent you to condos in Myrtle Beach, what happens?
I'm going to go back and say, how did I end up on that page? I'm like, what is happening?
Correct. So you got to think about that. Like things like that. Like look at your keywords that you're setting up. If I'm looking for oceanfront condos in Myrtle Beach, I'm not going to send you to mobile homes in Conway. But those are the things you got to think about. Like there's a lot of things, when you're running ads, there's UTM tags where you could see, you add UTM tags to see which ad they're clicking on and which ones you're getting conversions on. So actually measuring what you're doing when you're setting up the ads. There's also GCLID codes that are sent. And like those are, when you look at offline conversions. So GCLID is how a conversion happens. They send the code in.
Okay.
And it matches up with Google. So say that lead goes is an appointment or is a really good conversation or goes to closing.
Yep.
That's information that you could actually provide back to Google and says, hey, this was a really good lead. Find me more of these. And it's a really long code because think about all the leads that come into Google.
Yeah.
But really looking at where you're sending the leads to based on pages, make sure the ads match up. Sorry. I need some
Deer Park water. Established 1873.
1873.
100% natural spring water. Oh, this
is really a normal sized bottle.
Your hands are massive.
I'm just a giant.
Just a giant.
Yeah. But looking at the ads that you're setting up, making sure you're sending them to the correct pages is very important when you're looking at ads. And a lot of people don't do that. They don't do that right. And looking at, based on the leads that you're sending, how are you forcing them to register? Mm-hmm. Like, how are you actually capturing the lead and understanding that, hey, I'm going to just send them on a website and hopefully they click on something and hopefully they call me. Like, you have to have something, and the one thing you don't want to do is like send them to your site and automatically pop up a screen that says you can't do anything.
Yeah.
So send them to a page based on, if they're looking for Myrtle Beach oceanfront homes, send them to a page for Myrtle Beach oceanfront homes. Make sure when they go to that page, they see houses right away. Yep. They see photos right away. They could click on them, and then they're forced to register.
To get more information.
I need more water.
You need more Deer Park water. Did you already finish it?
I'm out. Can I have some of yours?
You can have mine.
No, that's very weird.
That's really weird.
You're sick.
So I do have a question though about what you're saying. I'm not going to say like average intelligence of a person to do any of this, but the things that you're basically saying obviously you've been doing it for a very long time.
Easy.
It is
easy.
You're lying.
No, easy. Call me old.
No, I'm not like that.
Very long time. I get it.
I meant you said easy, so I'm like, wow, the average person can do what you're doing.
No, it's
what I'm saying is what level of intelligence are you going to need to put all these things together, like to make it so like any person can go out and do this, or is it you saying?
They can't. It will take some time to learn it. There's definitely a learning curve, but it's like anything else. I never. I've read books and listened to it, but really for me, and I think I've shared it in the past, is I like digging and figuring stuff out.
Yeah, for sure. But say for instance, depending on, no matter what your industry is, say you're starting a new company.
If you're gonna, performance the reason why people mainly set up text ads because they're easier to set up.
Easier to set up.
Yeah, like Performance Max, you got to get into photos, you got to get into logos. Like you could upload this and allow Google to do it yourself, but I wouldn't recommend doing that. You got to create videos. There's videos. So Performance Max, you're loading photos, videos, banner type ads, all of your stuff into it. And that's why a lot of people don't set them up. They take time. You're uploading a video in a horizontal focus and then a vertical focus, and there's just a lot to it.
Yeah.
So most people don't do it. And
so I'm just thinking of our clients and thinking of all the people, and I'm just like,
yeah, no, it's not. And then you got to look at time, right? Like, how much are you paying?
Spending on that?
Yeah, how much are you paying somebody to do it correct? And then how much time would it actually take you to do it? And then would you really do it? Like, that's really what it boils down to. Like, you got to look at the value of your time, and does the value of your time, is it worth it to do it yourself, or is it worth it for you to sell more houses?
Yeah, true.
And so, whatever you're doing, sell more houses, whether it's mortgage, whatever, roofing,
anything,
smart meters, solar panels, smart meters are meters on the house too.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. See, I don't sell houses, man. Yeah, so. I've never sold a house before. No, that's super interesting. I was always wondering, like, the more you start talking about it, I'm like, you should just do a YouTube series.
Yeah, we're doing one right now.
Well, I'm at step one.
This is on YouTube, by the way.
Oh yes, this is on YouTube.
Click to close.
Click to close podcast.
Yeah.
Is it click to close podcast?
Click to close.
Click to close.
And we're on a podcast, right?
Yep. You will find us. Well, cool. So let's recap. Number one.
What was number one?
Number one was website.
Yep.
And the call to actions on the website.
Mm-hmm.
Number two was registration.
Ads, building the ads.
Yeah. But still making sure that you do have a good capture rate and conversion rate.
Correct. And 2 and 3 was kind of blended together.
Three was landing pages though, right?
Yeah, it really was where you're pushing the ads
you're pushing them to make sure they're got it. Okay. So 1 and 2.5.
Two blended. Blended, 2 and 3 blended.
2 and 3 blended. So
yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Well, good. Well, I love this.
And I could really go down a rabbit hole.
Oh, we're going to. That's what this whole entire thing's about.
So this is episode
4.
4. Wow.
We appreciate all of you.
See ya.
Thank you.
Close. Click to close.
Click
with
to
the
close. Feel free to find us on anywhere where you could find a podcast. Smash that like button, and we're also on YouTube.
Yes.